When we hear the name Satan, a powerful image often comes to mind. For many, he is the ultimate villain, a fallen angel robed in red, wielding a pitchfork. He is the master of lies, the tempter of humanity, and the ruler of a fiery underworld. This character is a cornerstone of many beliefs, a symbol of pure evil locked in an eternal struggle against all that is good. He is the great adversary, the one who stands against God and humanity, a single, powerful entity responsible for the world's suffering. This version of Satan is deeply embedded in our culture, appearing in art, literature, and movies for centuries. We see him as a fixed character in a grand cosmic drama, a being whose identity and purpose are clear and unchanging. But what if I told you that this image, so familiar and concrete, is a relatively new invention in the grand scheme of human history? What if the character we call Satan did not start as a name at all? The stories we tell ourselves about the universe and our place in it are powerful. They shape our understanding of right and wrong, of good and evil. Yet these stories and the words we use to tell them have a history. They evolve. They change. The journey of the word Satan is a fascinating example of this transformation. It's a story that challenges us to look beyond what we think we know and to explore the origins of our most profound ideas. It asks us to consider that even the biggest figures in our cosmic narrative started as something much smaller, much simpler. To understand this journey, we must travel back in time. We must go to the ancient world, to the origins of the Hebrew Bible. Here, in these early texts, the concept of a single cosmic evil figure is not as clear as we might expect. Instead, we find a world filled with a variety of spiritual beings, both good and bad, messengers and obstructors. The idea of one great enemy to rule them all had not yet taken center stage. The focus was different. It was on the relationship between humanity and God, and the many challenges or obstacles that could stand in the way. It is within this ancient context that we first encounter the word that would one day become a name feared around the world. So let us begin. Let us peel back the layers of history, theology, and language. We will explore how a simple verb, an action word, slowly morphed into a noun, and then into the proper name of the most infamous villain in Western tradition. This is not just a story about a word. It is a story about how ideas are born, how they grow, and how they are shaped by the cultures that embrace them. It's a journey that reveals how the stories we tell today are built upon the foundations of words and concepts from a world very different from our own. Join me as we look into the past to understand the present and see how a simple verb became the ultimate villain. In the ancient Hebrew language of the Bible, the word Satan was not a name. It was a common verb, and its meaning was simple: to oppose, to accuse, or to obstruct. It described an action or a role that anyone could take on. A Satan was simply an adversary or an accuser. It could be a human, an angel, or even God's own messenger acting on divine orders. This is a crucial starting point. Before there was Satan, there were many Satans, many adversaries who played a part in the unfolding stories of the time. The word described a function like a prosecutor in a courtroom or a roadblock on a journey. It was a job title, not a personal identifier. Think of it this way. If we call someone a baker, we are describing what they do. We're not using baker as their personal name. In the same way, when early biblical texts used the word Satan, they were describing a role. For example, in the book of Numbers, we find a story about a man named Balaam who is on a journey. The text tells us that an angel of the Lord stood in the road as a Satan to him, meaning as an adversary to block his path. Here, the Satan is an angel sent by God. This angel is not evil. It is carrying out a divine command. The word simply describes the angel's function at that moment, to be an obstacle. This original meaning is seen in other places as well. In the first book of Samuel, the Philistines are worried about the future king David. They fear he might turn against them in battle. They say, lest in the battle he become a Satan to us. They are not worried about a cosmic demon joining the fight. They are worried that David himself will become their adversary. In this context, David, a human hero, is being called a potential Satan. It shows how the term was used to describe anyone who might stand in opposition. It was a practical, worldly term for an opponent or a political enemy. This understanding is a world away from the horned figure of later tradition. The early biblical authors were not writing about a single, malevolent being orchestrating all the evil in the world. They were using a common word to describe the everyday challenges and opposition that are a part of life. There were human Satans and angelic Satans, but they were all defined by their temporary role as an adversary. The idea of a singular, purely evil entity with a proper name had not yet been born. The word was still just a word, a description of an action, waiting for history to transform it. As time went on, the role of the Satan began to take on a more specific form. One of the most significant developments appears in the book of Job. Here, for the first time, we see a character referred to as Ha-Satan. In Hebrew, Ha is the definite article, so Ha-Satan means the accuser or the adversary. This is not yet a proper name, it is a title, much like the prosecutor or the judge. This figure appears in the heavenly court among the sons of God. His job is to roam the earth and report on human behavior. He is a celestial prosecutor, whose role is to question the righteousness of humanity. In the story of Job, Satan challenges God. He argues that Job is only righteous because God has blessed him with wealth and health. The accuser suggests that if those blessings were taken away, Job would surely curse God. So God gives Satan permission to test Job. It is important to note that this accuser is not acting in rebellion against God. He is a member of the divine council, and he operates only with God's permission. He is part of the divine system, not an enemy fighting against it. His role is to test faith and to reveal the true nature of human piety. He is an antagonist in the story, but not the source of all evil. This portrayal in Job marks a crucial step in the evolution of the word. The Satan is no longer just any random adversary. The role has become more specialized, more formal. It is now a specific position within the divine realm, a heavenly official with a defined duty. This character is cynical and serves to create conflict, but he is still a subordinate of God. He is not a fallen angel who's been cast out of heaven. He is a functionary, a part of the celestial bureaucracy. The story uses him to explore deep questions about suffering, faith, and the nature of justice, but it does not present him as an independent power of evil. The book of Zechariah offers another glimpse of this celestial courtroom. Here again we see Ha-Satan standing to accuse the high priest, Joshua. An angel of the Lord rebukes Ha-Satan, defending Joshua. Once more, the Satan is playing the role of the prosecutor. His job is to point out sin and unworthiness, but he is immediately put in his place by a higher divine authority. In these stories, the accuser serves a purpose in the divine plan. He's a tool for testing and judgment, a part of the heavenly legal system. The word was slowly shifting from a generic verb to a specific title, setting the stage for the final transformation into a proper name. The transformation of the accuser into the ultimate villain, Satan, did not happen in a vacuum. It was a gradual process, heavily influenced by contact with other cultures and changing religious ideas. During the period when the Hebrews were exiled in Babylon, they were exposed to Persian Zoroastrianism. This religion had a strongly dualistic worldview. It described a cosmic struggle between a supreme god of goodness and light, Ahura Mazda, and an equally powerful spirit of evil and darkness, Angra Mainyu. This idea of a great cosmic war between two opposing forces was a new and powerful concept. It provided a framework for understanding evil not just as an action or a test, but as a fundamental power in the universe. As these ideas seeped into the cultural landscape, the figure of Ha-Satan began to change. The celestial prosecutor started to take on the characteristics of this great enemy. Over centuries during the Second Temple period, Jewish literature outside of the official Bible began to explore the origins of evil in new ways. Books like the Book of Enoch told stories of fallen angels who rebelled against God, came to earth, and corrupted humanity. These rebellious angels were then merged with the figure of the accuser. The old Satan role was combined with new narratives of cosmic rebellion, creating a single powerful leader of the forces of darkness. The accuser was becoming a character with a backstory. This newly formed character was then given a name. The definite article Hai was dropped, and Satan became a proper name. This character was now seen as the leader of the fallen angels, the ancient serpent from the Garden of Eden, and the eternal enemy of God and humanity. When Christianity emerged, it inherited and further developed this tradition. The New Testament writers portray Satan as a tempter who tests Jesus in the wilderness and as the ruler of this world. He became the definitive source of sin and evil, the ultimate adversary in a cosmic drama of salvation. The character was complete. Understanding this evolution is more than just a historical exercise. It shows us how profoundly words and ideas can change over time. It reminds us that the concepts we hold dear, even those that seem timeless, have a history. They are shaped by cultural exchange, philosophical shifts, and the human need to make sense of the world. The story of Satan, from a simple verb meaning to oppose to the name of the ultimate personification of evil, is a powerful lesson. It teaches us that big ideas often have small beginnings, and that by tracing a word back to its roots, we can uncover a whole new understanding of the stories we tell ourselves about the universe and our place within it.